And good evening, guys, and this is GRL Season 3 for GP2 for tonight at the 9 o'clock original start for round 17 here for the Japanese Grand Prix. This is it for 17, who is currently on his own. And I've just received word from one of the weather forecasters here directly at the circuit. They're saying it's going to be a dry qualifying and then a full wet race to light rain. And we could possibly see some unorthodox strategies. So it could also mean that some of these qualifying times on the dry tyres might be redundant. But we'll find out on who will, out of the top 10, will go through, and from 11th to 14th will be knocked out. For tonight, we do have one new driver with us, which is Top Neo Racer, who in fact is currently been acquainted in the Haas. So we do wish him the very best of luck, and also show us what you got for the dying moments of obviously of this season, but also in future seasons. We also noticed that Chalky has made a return as well to aid with Raven in the Sauber. We'll also have Craigie as well, who is also returning as well in the Haas, rocking the number 12. We do have Raven on our is out first here at Suzuka, as we'll get the driver standings as best as we can. So, including Japan with 5 races to go, Paraquix holds the lead with 162 points, with Top Muna on 165, and he has not returned. So he is going to be losing on some more points. Meanwhile, Smithy is on 154, only 11 points behind the fellow Williams driver, but his main rival Chill is 2 points behind him on 152. AMG Kosher is sneakily going up the rankings in 5th with 141, with Lovely Colt 10 points behind him at 131. Discreetly is in 7th, only 7 points behind Lovely Colt, but it actually has a very firm gap onto Manzi, who currently sits on 85 with a 39 point difference. Meanwhile, a little bit further down, we have Super Cam on 33, only 8 points ahead of Dutch Nacho. And also with the returning of Chalky, who is currently on 11, is ahead by 1 point of Craigie. As we go on to the constructors is still very, very close between the Scuderia Ferrari and the Williams Martini Racing Team. As Scuderia Ferrari is on 386 with Williams on 317. Only 69 points between the two. But for the battle of third best is still going, with Renault only on 239, only 24 points ahead of Force India on 215. Meanwhile, McLaren F1 is currently sitting in 5th on 166, only 49 points behind Force India. But they are coming under fire with Toro Rosso Honda, who is 27 points behind McLaren for the best of the rest. So as the top three times have been set, with Lovely Colt doing a 1 minute 28.9 and Nia Racer, the debutant, with a 129.0. Raven set a banker lap with a 133.8. Meanwhile, Craig, he did actually set a time, but it was invalid, whilst discreetly has done a 130.0. Parrot does a 129.1. Here we have Chill coming on to the end of his first flying lap, and he does a 129.1. Puts him very nicely into P4 at the moment. While Smithy, as he goes on the exit of turn 2, gets a little bit wide onto the grassy section, now onto the S sections. Very, very neat, with a little bit on the grass on the last part, as he now approaches onto Dunlop Corner. Now onto the two Degners. Slight little slide on the exit of Degner 2. Holds it nicely done, and onto the hairpin. He now goes onto the long swooping right, heading towards Spoon Corner, or Spoon Curve. It was very sudden, it was very open, and then closes. Now goes back on the power, and on to the back straight towards 130R. We have found out that Manzi's done a 129.873, only half a tenth slower than Chalky, while Smithy has crossed the line doing it on 130.091, just over half a tenth slower than Discreetly. Craigie's going to be going up towards the start finish straight, but it looks like that Craigie is going straight into the pits. Meanwhile, Smithy has actually gone up a tenth on the first sector. You see the onboard view of Smithy. I'll straighten out a little bit, but no understeer on the last section of Spoon. Meanwhile, UK Gingers, Dutch and Kosher are on their outlaps, and it's also the same with Para. Smithy goes onto the last 3 corners to end his second flying lap, goes straight into the pits. He seems to be a little bit unhappy how the second flying lap panned out. As we see UK Gingers hoping to bounce back from obviously the most unfortunate retirements last week at Russia. There he is, hoping for a bounce back here at Japan. So now approaches onto the final three corners, brakes very nice and hard onto the chicane, and now goes back onto the power and opens the accelerator of the Red Bull to now start his flying lap. Now approaches turn 1 and turn 2. Beautifully done. Slight little wiggle on the first part of the S's. Now on Dunlop corner. Again, with just a slight little bit of tailwind at Dunlop corner. And again at Degner 1. GK Gingers now approaches Spoon corner. Takes the long right a lot more tighter. This is a much tighter line on the long right for Spoon. Now coming up to 130R. And now braking nice and hard for the chicane. Takes plenty of curb. And goes fastest with a 1:28.5. Very good lap from UK Gingers. Meanwhile, Paraquix has actually gone back into the pits. As Dutch has done a 1:29.465, with AMG Kosher firmly behind him with a 1:29.605. Which puts them into P6 and P7 respectively. So have a look at Superb Cam, who crosses the line with a 1:28.916. Only a thousandth off between the Force India and the Toro Rosso driver. Meanwhile, Smithy and Manzi are both on super soft tyres. And now going to start their flying laps on their allocated tyres as they both approach turn 1 and 2. Craigie now does a 1:30.1. Smithy now goes out of the S's and now approaching Dunlop corner. Using a very good, strong line, and now approaching onto the Degners 1 and Degner 2. No oversteer whatsoever from Smithy. Now onto the long right. Uses all of the available track as best as possible and straightens his car up again. He's now dragged him wide. Now all of a sudden he's got tailwind at Spoon. So Smithy now goes onto the last corner. Takes the outside line and goes second fastest with a 1:28.7. Meanwhile, Manzi has only improved by half a tenth, well half a second, with a 1:29.3. So discreetly, Craigie and Raven and Chalky are on the firing line of getting knocked out. Superb Cam has retired from the pit box. Meanwhile, Lovely Colt is on his outlap once again. As Chalky crosses the line and only goes 10th fastest with a 1:29.4. Chalky is retired on track. It looks like the deed might have been done for Chalky. So we look on to Raven. Takes a narrow line approaching Dunlop. We see the on-board point of view of Raven. Again, takes a narrower line on the long right. So that does mean that Craigie and Coacher will be knocked out. And the question is who else will follow suit as Raven goes super wide of 130R and he's gone. Huge crash from Raven. And it also looks like that discreetly has backed off as well. As Lovely Colt goes fastest with a 1:27.8. Discreetly again. Unfortunate for him, he's going to get knocked out of Q2. So we have it for the Q2 as the results are here. For the Japanese Grand Prix, the 4 drivers that are sadly knocked out of Q2 are AMG Kosher, Discreetly, Craigie and Raven. Meanwhile, Lovely Colt sets a very good fast lap at Q2 with a 1:27.8, 7/10 faster than Ginger's, who's done a 1:28.5. So that is the end of Q2, as we now forward on to Q3. It does look like that the clouds are forming. I'm starting to see some more cumulonimbus clouds. So we are hoping for it to not rain as much. As it does look like the Colt is going out first. So Lovely Colt is hoping to string some more wins under his belt and to try and catch up for the best of the rest driver for Season 3. Whilst the constructors, for the best of the rest, it's very close between McLaren, Renault and Force India. You do see on the onboard point of view, although the cold, the tarmac does seem to be a little bit greasy, but not losing a lot of grip type greasy. There's a lovely Colt's now going to be starting on his first fly lap here at Q3. Now opening DRS, doing 200 plus miles an hour, approaching turn 1, and then braking very hard on onto turn 2. Takes a very, very good strong exit, and now onto the start of the S's. Makes it out of them perfectly. Now on the exit of Dunlop Corner. And now onto Degner's 1 and 2. Very good exit of Degner 2. Now on the hairpin, braking nice and hard with a slight lock up of the front left. This lovely cart now approaches 130R, takes it comfortably flat in that Toro Rosso. Now onto the chicane, and now onto the bumpy last corner, takes the narrower line and does a 128.2. Good first lap, as we now see on Paraquicks in the Scuderia Ferrari. Takes a narrower line also, and he does a 128.5. 3/10 slower. And we look at Superb Cam. After 3 bad races, he's hoping to try and come up from that curse, from getting a very good performance and hopefully a podium. As Chill now across the line and goes 1,000th quicker than Para. Meanwhile, Dutch has done a 138.5. As Neo does a 129.2. Here as we see Chill on his cool down lap. Letting Neo through. Meanwhile, Smithy is now coming up onto the last corner. Goes 4th fastest with a 128.8. Exactly. Meanwhile, Manzi does a 130.5. As UK Gingers starting his flying lap. The sun is slowly peeking out. Above the trees. As Gingers, oh, he almost lost it at Dunlop Corner, but shows very good car control to keep it on the track. does look like Gingers is still going to go for it. As Gingers goes back into the pits. Meanwhile, Lovely Colt and Para are now back and on their outlap. As Manzi actually goes quickest on the softs, the 130.1. While Chalky on the exit of Spoon takes that exit, beautifully done. Onto 130R, very, very neat. Studs Nacho now goes on his outlap as well, as Chalky now goes heading towards the start-finish point, crosses the line and takes P5 with a 129.1. So we're now 3 minutes 45 seconds left of Q3. Lovely Colt is still on the pole spot at the moment with a 128.2, with Chill in second with a 128.5, 3-7 with Para in third with a 123.538, and the 1,000 separated. Smithy is in fourth at the moment with a 128.8 exactly. Chalky has just recently clocked a time which put him into P5 with a 129.1. Neo has dropped to P6 after Chalky set in a faster time, doing a 129.2. As UK Gingers and Cam are now on their outlaps, and the same with Chill and Smithy. So now less than 3 minutes left of the session, as Lovely Colt goes even faster with a 127.6. He has found less than 2/10. Meanwhile, Paraquix goes second fastest with a 128.4, only improved by a small margin. So surely Para must be extremely gutted. It's only improved by a small margin rather than improving by 1 to 1.5 tenths or more. As you can see, I'm trying to push the car even further. As UK Gingers are now going to be starting his last flying lap. Of Q3. Meanwhile, Superb Cam is going to be starting his last lap of Q3. As we look onto Para, he's down by 2/10. And now approaches onto the last part of Sector 3. As Lovely Colt now goes into the pits and has retired into the pits as well. Meanwhile, Old Manzi is now on his outlap as well. As Dutch goes faster and jumps Manzi with a 129.7. As Chalky is now retired from the session. Question is on where he will be. Meanwhile, Manzi is going to be starting on his last lap of this session. As UK Gingers is now going to be onto the start-finish point, and now jumps up to P2 with a 128.3. Meanwhile, Superb Cam is now going to be onto the start-finish straight. Across the line, and then goes quicker than Gingers with a 128.301. As Parrot now goes onto the grass on the S's. As we look at Neo. Approaching 130R. And now onto the last part of Sector 3. It jumps up to P6 with a 128.651. Dutch improves with a 129.4. Meanwhile, Manzi does improve, but stays where he is with a 129.486. As Chill takes P3 with a 128.3. So now we see Smithy. He's going to be crossing the line. Takes P6 with a 128.617. So that will be it for Q3 of GP2. So there we have it for Q3, and the results are as follows. Lovely Colt will be started on pole with Superb Cam, behind him only by just over 6.5 tenths. Meanwhile, Chill is currently behind Cam by 19 thousandths. And going to be starting in third with UK Gingers, just over half a tenth behind him with a 128.377. Which takes him into P4 with Paraquix in P5 and Smithy in P6. And Neo, for the debutant, will be starting in P7. I think he'll be very happy with that position, and he's hoping for the upcoming start of the race and see how it pans out. As we can now see the sudden shift. I go on to the race director, and everyone are on the full wets. So to all the people that are recently just joined to watch the stream, you haven't missed a lot. Well, you have missed, wait, in case you have missed, obviously in qualifying, don't worry, because this stream will be available to be re-watched in the coming days, and also on YouTube. As we are now on to the dying moments of the 5-minute break. I think the some of the top 10 drivers are going to be quite nervous for the start. But they're hoping to survive the opening few laps. As we are now getting closer and closer towards the start of the race, and it does look like that the rain is going to be holding up for the entirety of the race, as we obviously knew at the start of Q2. It's now the rest of the grid. They're going to be starting on their flying lap. As we see lovely Colt at the pole spot. And the rest of the grid is going to be forming up. From Lovely Colt all the way down to Raven. As Lovely Colt gets his car on the grid. Very, very far to the left side of his grid box. To utilise the petrol racing line. So here we go for 5 red lights for the Japanese Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. It does look like the Lovely Colt's actually got off to a bit of an okay start. Meanwhile, Superb Cam's gone onto the inside and goes for it. Takes the lead off of Lovely Colt. Meanwhile, Chill actually gone off to an okay start and keeps it into third, with UK Gingers actually staying in 4th place. Meanwhile, discreetly, Manzi and Raven has jumped up positions each, whilst MG Kosher and Dutch has lost 2 positions of each, whilst Craig has only lost 1. Meanwhile, Superb Cam is now hopefully to go on a massive charge, and it looks, oh, there's been an accident, and it looks like Smithy and Neo at Dunlop. Meanwhile, Raven has lost some of the positions, and Dutch has now got some front wing damage. As Gingers now has a 5-second stop go, exceeding the track limits. As Raven now goes onto the right outside and it gets spun. Gets spun by Dutch. Oh, Gingers has lost on 130R. Meanwhile, Manzi and Smithy looks like they are double stacking. So it does look like there have been damage from both counterparts of the Renault team. Meanwhile, Paraquix is actually still sticking on behind of Chill. As Dutch now goes into the pit. And Gingers again is very annoyed of what happened there. Super gutted of him. Having a very good strong qualifying session. P4. Then the oversteer hitting him at more than 30R. See Paraquix. Oh, I think there's been some. Oh, and it's Smithy again. This time losing it on ES's. But it looks like he's got front wing damage again. Have a look on where was the damage? So do see Craigie sporting on a little bit of front wing damage on his front left. This Lovely Colt goes for the has got for the fastest. Meanwhile, Paraquix is going on to the inside of Chill, approaching onto turn 2 and makes the move stick, and now takes P3 off of the fellow Williams driver. Meanwhile, Neo is now approaching onto turn 1, going for the overtake off of Kosher, and now goes onto the charge for the S's and takes P7. Lovely Colt actually gaining on Superb Cam. Meanwhile, Chalky is actually gaining on Chill. There's unbelievable scenes at the moment. We go on back to Lovely Colt, trying to minimalise the wheel spin on the exit of Spoon. The Superb Cam got a little bit tail, a little bit of a wiggle on the exit of 130R. Meanwhile, Chalky is actually keep catching up to Chill. Lovely Colt goes even faster with a 146.9. While Chalky still sticking behind. Still sticking behind Chill. There's old Manzi, who's now go for a move off of Raven as it goes onto the inside and lets Raven through. Well, Raven actually lets Manzi through. While Chalky is still sticking behind Chill, but it does look like that Chill gets the traction on the hairpin. Dutch Natural gets a 3-second time penalty. As Lovely Colt gets closer and closer to Superb Cam. Both of them comfortably taking 130R as best as possible. Oh, but it looks like Colt got a little bit deep on the first part, the midway point of the chicane, and has now lost 1.5 tenths off of Cam. While Chalky is still sticking behind off of Chill. So far the guy that's made the most positions at the moment is Discreetly with 6 positions. Whereas Manzi gets another gets a 5-second stop go. Oh, but it looks like Chill's lost Dunlop. Gets his car out of the way for Discreetly, as now Discreetly takes P5. Now Chill. Twice. 2 people have lost it on Dunlop as Lovely Colt goes round the inside of Cam towards Spoon. Cam defends perfectly well as Cam had the inside of Spoon corner and now owns the corner as Colt gets a little bit of wheel spin on the exit. Now Paraquix is entering the fray, closing and closing. Paraquix goes for the fastest lap with 145.9. So the championship leader, drivers of the drivers, is hunting, and Chill gets a 5-second stop going, speeding in the pit lane. does mean now that Chill drops down to P11. Meanwhile, Lovely Colt getting closer and closer to Cam. Again, still trying to minimise the wheel spin. And it's Chill again on the first sector. On the S's this time. Meanwhile, Lovely Colt is still on the back of Superb Cam, with Superb Cam getting a little bit of a wiggle on the midway point of 130R. Meanwhile, Paraquix is still sitting firmly behind in P3. Just casually buying some time as best as possible. So now on to lap 7 of 27. As Craigie is slowly catching up to AMG Kosher, with Raven also in the mix of catching up to Manzi. So far, the main focus of the battle is for the battle for the lead. Oh, it does look like Cam is going to be on the back foot on the approach of Spoon. Has he got what looks like understeer at the hairpin, but it doesn't look like he's losing that much time. Meanwhile, Chalky has been overtaken by Neo. It does look like that Chalky made a slight mistake. The Superb Cam was being a little bit 50-50 on the exit of 130R. Again, Lovely Colt is struggling on the traction, and now Paraquix is going too wide onto turn 1 and 2 and takes second. Now Lovely Colt is proper struggling and is on the back foot. Oh, Lovely Colt got the wheel spin at Dunlop corner. So we get another 5-second stop go, and Craigie with a 3-second time penalty. So seeing Colt is properly struggling. Had to straighten his car at the midpoint of Spoon. As Paraquix is closing to Superb Cam, with Raven getting a 3-second time penalty, and is closing into Manzi. Almost got super good traction on the exit of Degner 2, and almost loses the back end. Manzi now is struggling as well. Meanwhile, Chalky is going to be trying to go for a late move, but it doesn't look like it's been executed that much, as Neo had to go for the escape road, and then has to take the position back. Smithy gets the 3-second time penalty. Like his race has just gone from bad to worse. It's also the same with Chill as well. As he now lets the top 3 drivers through to let them battle for another couple of laps until their pit stop window. You see Lovely Colt is actually getting the speed back. Did the curb on 130R perfectly. Braking very hard onto the chicane. Raven's gone up a place to P9. As by the looks of it, Manzi's sporting some minor front wing damage. Using part of his cascade element on his front left. Barry gets a little bit sideways in the S's. Now onto the exit of Dunlop. As Lovely Colt is also struggling to get the power down. As Neo Racer taking Dunlop very careful. Oh, a slight tag slapper on the approach of Degner 1. But has got his car back to normal. And almost loses it again on the approach of the hairpin. There's a yellow flag on the third sector as Cam gets a 5-second stop go. It looks like Lovely Colt's actually suffered some ball problems as Chill and Smithy both go into the pits, and now Chill has had enough and has retired from the session. While discreetly, he's the first driver to actually go into the pits to the change of tyre. Now goes on to the intermediates. Meanwhile, Chalky and Neo are following suit of each other. Parra now gets a little bit of a tail happiness with AMG. Meanwhile, as AMG Kosher and Craigie now goes into the pits to their change of tyre. And it does look like the Neo did have a bit of a problem, as Cam has now lost it and now drops down to P3. Meanwhile, Craigie has actually jumped Raven. So Manzi now goes into the pits, whilst Dutch Nacho jumps Manzi and Raven to get P9. As both Colt and Parra both go wide on the exit of 130R. As we see on the aerial view. And they both go into the pits and Cam stays out. As Parra gets a 5-second stop go. Which is now going to suffer him a little bit now. Meanwhile, Superb Cam is now hoping to get a very strong in-lap despite having a stop-go penalty to be served. Meanwhile, Raven has actually is closing the gap onto Dutch Nacho, who is currently on the wets, as Dutch gets a 3-second time penalty on the exit of on the midway point of Spoon. And it does actually look like that the intermediate tyres are the one tyre to focus on. And Raven backs off as Dutch defends perfectly of Raven. As Dutch goes super deep with a slight little touch between the two drivers. They now approach onto the back straight. As Raven tries to go for the outside, but backs off. And now Raven has got jumped up onto P9. Meanwhile, Para and Colt are still end to end. As Superb Cam now goes into the pits. That does mean he will be starting, he will be out in P3. And the Colt is proper struggling on that last corner as Smithy gets for the fastest lap with a 1:44.3. So that means right onto the transition of light rain. Discreetly goes faster on a 1:43.4. Meanwhile, Craigie gets a little bit wayward in the approach of Spoon. As we see Raven, and Chalky getting sets a faster time with a 1:43.1. Oh, Craigie! Oh, that was good car control to keep that Haas off the wall, to keep him alive for this race. As Dutch now goes into the pits for his first pit stop. We do see a touch of blue sky, and again, the onboard of Colt. As Colt is now even closer and closer, proper reducing the gap off of Para. As Chalky gets overtaken by Neo. And Raven and Craigie. Whoa. That must be a safety car. Raven and Craigie both crashed out on Dunlop. And they're both cars. Oh, the good thing Raven's car was just managed to disappear. Surprisingly, the safety car is not out. Meanwhile, lovely Colt get the beautiful traction. On the exit of Dunlop. And Chalky's now gone. A double retirement from the Sauber team. Very, very unlucky from Sauber there. Oh, as lovely Colt hits the curb of Spoon, has now lost a lot of ground. As we now see discreetly, He's discreetly now closes on to Superb Cam. Being 3.4 seconds behind the Force India. He does have a very comfortable gap of 5th, which is Neo, of 25.5 seconds. So still, the battle for first is still lingering. Arrow takes Dunlop corner very gingerly. Does commit onto diagonal 1. Oh, Cole gets a little bit on the grass. Goes super deep on the hairpin. It hasn't lost him a lot of time though. So we're now on to lap 15 of 27. Paraquix is still your leader, with Lovely Colt only being 3.5 tenths behind the championship leader, with Superb Cam in third, and Dutch Nacho has now crashed out of the race at 130R again. So Superb Cam is in third, with Discreetly in fourth, with Neo 5th, Kosher 6th, Manzi 7th, Smithy in 8th, and a lap down. As this battle is still going on for the top spot. The Colt goes super wide on the last S section. And Para again takes the Dunlop corner very gingerly. Seemed to have worked though. Smithy gets another 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, Lovely Colt takes a very late apex of the hairpin, but gets the same ideal traction off of Para. And now approaching Spoon. Again, takes the same ideal racing line as Para. But it does look like that Lovely Colt's got the better traction off of Spoon. Closes the gap even more. As Para goes quite narrow off of the chicane and now tries to go too wide. But it does look like that Para is going to be secure in the inside line. He's also stuck to the ideal racing line, but it looks like he's got a little bit of understeer on turn 2. Keeps it nice and tight for turn 3. Lovely Colt is now starting to get frustrated now. Trying to overtake Para. And all of a sudden he's now lost a lot of time. Hopefully he's going to try and gain the time back. He does do. That's Spoon, and is now back onto the 2/4 of a second gap off of Para, as Para goes for the defensive line on 130R. He's made it worked. There was a bit of a slight touch. Doesn't look like there wasn't any damage. As Lovely Colt is now going to be utilising the overtake mode, and Para is now going back onto the defensive. As Lovely Colt goes down the inside of Para, trying to enforce a switch back. With Para now goes onto the inside on the S's, now onto the outside of the S's, then the inside. Colt had to readjust his car to avoid the collision, whilst Para just stuck onto his line. Now Lovely Colt has to try and do it all over again now. He can have the same aggression. But it does look like that Lovely Colt is struggling a little bit now. He goes super narrow on the last three corners. And has now lost even more ground. Para. As we see AMG Kosher starting in P12 and P11 and is now on to P6. Manzi is currently in P7, took 3 places. Whereas Smithy, though, very, very unfortunate from starting in P6. Very good average qualifying session. And then obviously he had a couple of spins, and then obviously there was kind of a takeout on one of the couple of laps. Well, we will find out when the stewards will investigate it in 2 days. As Lovely Colt is now back onto the approach of Para. As Para takes his line on 130R perfectly. Meanwhile, Lovely Colt goes for the fastest lap on the 1:42.1. Track's getting drier and drier. By every single lap, as Colt is almost pushing. It's close to pushing Para on the S's. As both of them now goes onto Egner 1 and 2. And it does look like the Para gets the better traction than Colt. Colt goes wide on the first part of Spoon, but gets it back onto the apex on the last section of Spoon. Meanwhile, Old Manzi has now gone into the pits. on what looks like to be another set of inters. Oh, Colt gets some wheel spin on that last corner to start lap 21. Now Manzi is the next car to be lapped here in the Japanese Grand Prix, as Cam gets the fastest lap with a 1:42.169. There's also pulling a gap above discreetly. As Wilby Colt is still within 3.5 tenths off of Para. Still struggling to try and get past. Colt gets wheel spin on the exit of Spoon, which does cost him a couple of hundredths of a second, and that could have been vital for Colt. Possibly made him get the overtake done before 130R. As they now go onto the exit, but it looks like Colt has got such better traction. That gets the fastest lap of a 1:42.166. It's 3 thousandths faster than Cam's fastest lap. As we are now 5 laps to go for GP2. We will announce the driver of the day at the end of this race. Now gets a 3-second time penalty. And also the same with AMG Kosher. So all eyes are on the top 2 of Paraquicks and Colt. Colt gets the wheel spin on Spoon again, this time losing half a tenth. Oh, Para loses it onto the gravel. Of 130R. And now Colt is on the defensive. As Colt misses the apex of turn 2. Cam gets the fastest lap of a 1:41.9. The track is slowly getting faster and faster, but it could possibly look like that the damage has been done. It does look like the Para is now proper struggling. Para is now on the back foot and he's losing a lot of time off of Colt now. as Colt is now increasing that lap, increasing that gap by a significant amount. Neo gets a 5-second stop-go penalty. Colt now takes the fastest lap again with a 1:41.593. So with 3 laps to go. It does appear that Colt will win the Japanese Grand Prix unless he gets a couple of penalties. So we never know what's going to happen next. As there's a yellow flag on the first sector. Do not know who has lost it. It does look like, however, that Para is gaining, but now the rain has stopped. The rain has now officially stopped. The track is now slowly drying up, and Para is now gaining on Colt. I would like to announce that the driver of the day will be going to discreetly after having a very, very poor qualifying from him from starting into P12. But in the past couple of laps, he kept the consistency at an all-time high. He's garnered him 8 position changes. And has now got him onto the top 5. I would say a huge congratulations to Discreetly for getting driver of the day. So we're now on to lap 26 of 27. So the gap is now getting wider and wider between Colt and Para. So it does look like that the damage has been done. As Smithy in 8th has damaged his wing. He's on the super softs, so he was hoping for it to be dry enough to be on the super soft tyres. But it doesn't look like that it wasn't dry enough or was quick enough for Smithy. As lovely Colt has discreetly now gets a 5-second stop go now for exceeding track limits. That was on Digna 2. So as lovely Colt now starts on his final lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. He had a bit of an uphill climb to try and go for the overtakes, with Cam going for a very good move on him at turn one, and closing the deal in turn 2. But Cam made a mistake at one point, which then opened the floodgates for Para to then go for the charge onto Colt. Well, what Colt has done very, very well. He's kept his composure. Tried to avoid as little damage as possible. And it does look like, as Colt now goes onto the last corner, well, approaching the last 3 corners. Colt with another amazing performance and a win to try and fight for, has won the Japanese Grand Prix, with Para taking 2nd place. Meanwhile, Superb Cam will take 3rd, as Manzi takes 7th. I think he'll be a little bit gutted, but I think he could be happy to get points. And then discreetly takes 4th, but does get driver of the day nonetheless. There's Neo, a good debut to take 5th. With AMG Kosher crossing the line to take 6th. So there we have it for the Japanese Grand Prix for GP2. Lovely Colt again with another win under his belt, and more valuable points to Toro Rosso. There we have it for GP2 and the Japanese Grand Prix, with lovely Colt taking yet another win for the Toro Rosso Honda team, with Paraquix in 2nd yet again, with Cam in 3rd. Discreetly, it will be taking 4th after starting at 12th, with Neo from starting 7th and taking 5th to round up the top 5. Meanwhile, AMG Kosher will be taking 6th from starting 11th, with Manzi from starting 10th will take P7. GRL Smith from starting in 6th had a very, very unfortunate race for him indeed. but he takes P8. Meanwhile, the retirements are as follows with Dutch Nacho, Chalky, Raven, Craigie, Chill, and Gingers. So we will be getting the top 3 drivers in for the interview. As we now get the rest of the drivers in for the interview. We're now currently waiting for Lovely Colt. As we wait for Lovely Colt to come in for the interview, and we will now commence it. I think we also obviously know that Lovely Colt does not have a mic, and also the same with Cam.
He
so
does.
Lovely Colt and Cam. Oh yeah, right. We'll start off the interview with Lovely Colt. We know that Cam does not have a mic, so just feel free to message me via the account. As we now start off with Lovely Colt. Again, another win under your belt. I think it must have been one of the toughest wins you had to go for. Yeah, that's the Japanese Grand Prix, but I think you must be extremely delighted with the performance that you've had through qualifying and the race.
Qualifying was pretty hard. I just had to push as hard as I can. And obviously I got pole. I don't know how much by though, so. But the race though, that was hard because I got held up quite a bit by Cam, but then Power overtook me, then just kept pace up until like lap 20 until I overtook him. I think it was like 10, I think it was something.
Yeah, it did actually show that you showed very good consistency throughout the entirety of the race, but there was at one point you was trying to push the car a little bit. I think there was some places, I think one in Dunlop, I think there was a little bit of Spoon Corner, so you was trying to push the car as best as you can, but also trying to minimise the traction to keep up with Para.
Especially around sprint as well, like you need a good exit for a massive straight, you know. But I just kept messing up and didn't get the traction, and he kept the position.
But it did actually show that in the rain, it did appear that the pace between you and Para was almost equal at one point. Going too wide at one stage on the approach of turn 1 and 2. So there could have been a subsequent level of pace.
Yeah, Para's a good driver anyway, so I wasn't expecting him to be anything different really.
But anyway, I think one last question is next week will be the USA Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. Do you think you'll be looking forward for that track, or do you think that it will be like another battle for another win like Japan?
Probably no battle, especially with these two.
Okay. Anyway, congratulations on you to secure yet another win under your belt, and also another win for Toro Rosso for Japan. And we'll wish you the very best for USA. As we now go on to second place, which is Paraquicks. Starting from 5th, it did actually appear you actually had very good traction at the start of the race. But again, you got held up from 4th upwards.
Yep, I just the quali I sacrificed for the race, so but I think I sacrificed a little bit too much. So I was positioned 5th. I was alright with that. So then yeah, the beginning of the race was pretty good. Yeah, I had a lot of traction, like you said. So I could keep Smitty behind me at the start. That was my that was good. And then yeah, I was kept behind Ford for a bit, and then I managed to overtake, and then I saw like Cam and Colt battling, and yeah, it was a fun battle and all. So
Yeah, it was actually a very good fun battle to watch down at my end as well with you, Colt, and Cam. I think another question is when it was the battle between you and Colt, when you was obviously for the battle for the lead, there was almost a slight off at 130R. I'm guessing that your mindset was quite sudden when that happened. Was it like a loss of traction, or do you think the tyres were just getting quite worn?
I think I pushed a little bit too hard. I think I should have lifted off a little bit, but I just went full, and my tires were completely gone at the end. So I think I should have just lifted off a bit. But yeah, that was my mistake. So.
Yeah, very unfortunate from you there.
But in the
Battle
end,
could have gone
I
almost
just gave up
endless.
because I had a
Yeah.
5 second stop and go penalty. So I just let him go, and just my tires were gone as well. So I was just gonna be happy with second place.
Yeah. Again, any thoughts for the USA Grand Prix, which is next week? Do you think the weather could be more different rather than today, or do you think it will stay the same?
Well, I'm gonna have to disappoint you guys because I will not be there. So I'm gonna have to miss that one.
So I'm guessing that you'll be back for Mexico.
Yeah, I will.
Well, we'll go jump onto there. So obviously you're going to be missing USA, so that means next week. So after that will be Mexico. Do you think that could possibly be another strong track for you? Or
Top 3, possibly, yeah, but I don't think I will win that one. It's not another strong track for me, so.
But anyway, congratulations to you, Para, for second place, as we do have a message off of Cam. Cam's has simply put that he had a not bad quali and a not bad race. Yeah, did actually do very well, Cam. Slightly jumping Colt on the approach of turn 1. Yeah, seems like you had a very comfortable start on the start of the race. Horrific conditions in the heavy rain. But we I also wish you the very best for next week for the USA Grand Prix, and hopefully there'll be another strong performance from you there as well. So congratulations to you, Cam, for taking P3 for Force India. As we now go on to driver of the day for the Japanese Grand Prix. Well, despite of it being quite close, but after having a very poor qualifying from one of the drivers, he actually kept his consistency and also excelled at his expectations from starting in P12, and then takes P4 at the end of the race. So that does mean that the driver of the day will go to Discreetly. So congratulations to Discreetly for getting driver of the day at the Japanese Grand Prix. So anyway, that has been it for the GP2 race here at Japan. Obviously tune in next week for the USA Grand Prix for GP2, which is unfortunate that Para will not be there with us. But hopefully there could be some more interesting battles on the across the globe. Meanwhile, for tomorrow, we do have GP1 for the Japanese Grand Prix as well, so stay tuned for that one as well. But anyway, this has been It's Full 17, and we'll be seeing you for GP2 next week at round 18 for the USA Grand Prix.